Good morning, everyone. It's Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. Let's go ahead and scoot on back here and take a look at what happened yesterday, just to kind of point out right now. The market is after the news drop. What do we have? We had CPI in the pre-market here. We get a pop, and we came right to our expected resistance zone, which, remember, this was that major area where we failed from, I don't know, maybe a month ago. So came right to it. As you can see here, tested it nearly to the tick. How many times? That's a scaffolding level we've had on the chart there for what, 2 months now, right? So let's go ahead and jump back and take a look. So when we got to the charts here for our pre-market yesterday, there was a huge whip down with the news. So pre-market yesterday, big news event, led to this little drop, but they found support right off of, let me pull up the higher time frame chart here. They found support right off this major structure area in the market where it was just chopping and holding and holding and holding. Where did they come to and pull back in that pre-market news drop? Right to it, and came right back. So we kind of had, like I said, on the 4 hour here, kind of had a similar call and response. So the other day, big wick to the upside, respond with the big wick to the downside, and we got the continuation up. That's basically what happened here the other day, right? We had the wick to the upside. We were expecting a pullback, and then we got this response here right off of the major block of structure there. So coming into the market yesterday, it looked like it made sense for the market to now try to continue to push after that little kiss of, again, that major structure zone in the market, and interestingly enough, our roadmap level, which happened to be right there. Not surprising, right? So let's look at what happened when the market opened. It was a little bit of a choppy situation until they went ahead and ripped it higher. So the first couple hours of the market was a pretty tricky situation, but despite that, let's look at some of these unbelievable opportunities, okay? And I think I might have just moved that, son of a... What was the level, guys? I think it was 52.55 half. I really... Ninja Trader is really kind of pain in the butt sometimes. So let's look at these opportunities here. We got a pullback out of the open right to the 200 moving average. Okay, great opportunity there with divergence to go ahead and try a long. And if you did, you actually got a nice, 15-point bounce. So a great opportunity there to try and go ahead and see if the bulls were going to continue to push higher, because look, in the pre-market here, we get the support off of that major structure zone and our scaffolding level. It then comes up, gets above the low of the day before, and then comes up and holds VWAP and the 200 multiple times, and then the market opens, comes right back to test the 200 again. So again, it looked like the bulls were starting to come back in power, and you had that great, again, an opportunity with nearly zero risk. I mean, it went through it by a 1 tick, guys. And then from there, you got a 15-point push. So like I said, even though it was a choppy situation for the first couple hours of the market, you got your 200 tag. You got another 200 tag here. You got an opportunity to fade our support and resistance level. I think, again, it was to the tick there with another divergence off that high. Or you could have even bought the pullback right back into the Hopel and the VWAP. So all of these textbook little trades that I'm always talking about, you still had opportunity inside of the chop to actually get some pretty good trades, right? 15 points to the upside. In this case, you got about a 10, 13, 14 point bounce. Here, if you faded off of our roadmap level to the tick, you got yourself a 10-point pullback right into the VWAP there, hopefully taking profit in front of it. And then once the market started to kind of make this little peak above our level and start to fail out, there's your crossover. And then you had an opportunity to try the back end of the 200, just didn't quite get anywhere. If you were a little more aggressive with it, you could have actually jumped in right off the VWAP and the scaffolding there. But as you can see, didn't quite get anywhere. And the flip side of it here is if you wanted to try and buy, you had another low risk opportunity right off the previous daily close. Once again, came up, could not get through our support and resistance level, pulled back. So there's just so many different areas in the chart here that you could have got in with very limited risk and captured a pretty decent move inside of all this chop. And then finally, once we started to get the push in the direction that we were expecting, we then got the beautiful little pullback with the double bottom to the VWAP there with divergence that led to about a 20-point bounce. Might be more than that, right? And if you missed out, and if you were just watching this and you're like, geez, it's not going anywhere, it's super choppy, when it finally did start to show its face and we started to get this really strong rip out, you did get an opportunity here to buy that pullback once we broke out through the high of the day, right to the fast moving average again with zero risk. So all of yesterday, there were lots of great little opportunities with, again, nearly zero risk off the levels. And then as you can see, as we broke out here, the market continued to rip and then came right up into the scaffolding, the next major structure zone in the market in this area, and we got the pullback. So pretty good stuff. That led to the push here into the overnight session. And now here we are with this big news event. And interestingly enough, as the market is continuing to rip higher, they came right to our scaffolding level. And now we're getting a pretty nice pullback. So nice rip out of the news. So in the overnight session here, again, nice pullback to the 200 and the close of the day before. You could have captured that little 5-point bounce. Held it again here, but just not for an appreciable push. And then we get the little duck below and the breakout at the news event here this morning. And here we are pulling back right off our scaffolding and bouncing right off what is probably going to become one of our new support and resistance levels in the market. So it's just another morning where we're just parrying back and forth inside of our levels. And that kind of wraps up the review for the last day and a half here. Still, if you ask me, pretty incredible price action inside a chop. And then when we get really nice moves, they seem to stop right where we expect them to, right? This was our major area of resistance, 02 to 05. More accurately, our roadmap level at 02. So let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames and take a look at what they have to say for this morning.